For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Carol Green Kiemle. Carol Kiemle is fine. Carol is really, really good. I'm doing your makeup class. If you have, I'm glad you're all excited. You know, the blessing about this class today is we have some ladies who are browner, and I'm so happy that they're here because the first year we did this makeup class, I was the only brown person. And it is hard to do someone else's makeup if they're not the same color as you, okay? If you're not sure and you're kind of worried about it. So, hi Peggy. And Peggy and I had this conversation about the first year because she had a party coming up right after she left convention. And it didn't go well because she had never done a woman of color's makeup. And she says, Carol, can you give me some quick tips? And I'm like, quick tips? It's a whole nother thing. My husband is an artist. He's a graphic artist, but he also paints. And I remember when he first started dating me, he wanted to draw and he wanted to paint. And he said, you know, he says, a very different color scheme doing black people's skin as opposed to white people's skin. He says, we have pink undertones, but you have so many other colors going on in your skin. And so what you have to understand about makeup with people is, it's not just what you look like when you look at yourself in the mirror, because we can say white or black or brown. The issues are, we have fantastic makeup. First of all, in the very beginning of your hand that I said that, you know, you're not here, people are not gonna give you a hard time. You need to be confident about what you have. If you love our products, you're going to do great during a makeup party. It's nothing to be afraid of. Most people come to a makeup party, don't know what to expect, and they're kind of scared and they're nervous because some of them don't want to take their makeup off. Julie Snowgren, wherever you are. Julie's going to be one of our models, and another young lady here, Jacqueline's going to be another one of our models. And the reason why I want to use them both is because you're going to do younger women, you're going to do older women. There's going to be different concerns with each group of women. The other thing you're going to find is there's going to be other things besides just their skin. They're going to be talking to you. Sometimes when you do a makeup party, I'm going to be jumping all over the place, but the handout that I have, if you don't have one, I can put them on Facebook tonight because they're on my iPad. Because I did this on my iPad before I came and I printed it out. It's the last thing I did before I drove in my car 15 hours. So what you're going to find is when you do your parties, I usually do hand treatments at the sink. So as they come in, I say hello, I meet them. What is your name? Val. I say, hi Val, how are you? We're standing at the sink and I'm doing your hands. And while we're talking, and I'm asking you what you do, I'm looking at your skin. I'm looking at how big your pores are, how small they are, if it looks like you wash your face on a regular basis, if you have a lot of makeup on, a little bit of makeup, because oftentimes if we do a beginning makeup party, you're probably just going to do, mainly you're going to concentrate on washing their face and teaching them basics about facial care. Because most women don't wash their face twice a day. Most women don't take their makeup off well. A lot of times they'll say, well, I have this rash, or I have this acne, and they'll pull up their bangs, and they'll say, see right here. And I'm looking at their bangs going, do you sleep with a headband? And they'll say no. And I said, so when you wash your hair, and you put whatever you're going to put in your hair, and you go to bed, those little gooey bangs lay on your forehead all night long. And so I don't think that you have acne, I think that you have what they call contact dermatitis, because it's whatever's in your hair products is laying on your forehead all night long. You're going to see teenage girls are going to tell you the same thing. I have acne, but it's only on the forehead, and she has bangs. And she doesn't pull her hair back at night after she washes it, or she doesn't wash it at night, she washes it in the morning, which means that hair lays on her face for 8 hours. How many people in this room have dry skin? Okay, how many people in this room have oily skin? How many people just have the in-between skin? Good, we all know what kind of skin we have, that's always good. So we have the normal, we have the oily, and we have the dry, and there's a reason. When you deal with people who have dry skin, oftentimes they'll come and you'll see little dry bumps on their face. And so it's important when you do their makeup that they make sure they wash their face and they exfoliate well, especially if they say they have dry skin. As long as it's not sensitive, make sure they exfoliate. Here is why. If they don't exfoliate and you do their makeup, even if they say, well, I washed my face before I came, I don't have any makeup on, and you take your little makeup brush and you're talking to them and you're having a wonderful time, and you start doing her makeup, and all of a sudden you take a brush and you start going like this on her face. It's called microdermabrasion. A little tiny bit of her dry skin starts flaking off and mixing with the makeup. And then you have this disaster on your hands because her face is not really clean. People don't realize it. They don't. They think that their face is clean, but they're not exfoliating, so they have dead skin cells on their face. And they're moisturizing them, so they kind of plaster down during the day, and then they kind of raise up. And then as you're brushing or just doing a little bit of something, stuff starts to flake. And then it's like you have to start all over again. So make sure that you do your facials, wash their face, make sure they exfoliate. If they have very sensitive skin, if they have rosacea, they probably cannot do the gentle exfoliant unless they want to, but just make sure they wash. I normally bring washcloths to my parties. That's probably the only cloths that I still bring, mainly because their faces are clean. They need something soft to wipe their faces with, especially when you have women who are older with thinner skin or have rosacea. Because rosacea is you have these blood vessels very close to the skin and capillaries, and that's why the skin gets so red. Some women will have like a constant red here, and a red here, and a red here, and that's where our lovely blue pencil will come in, very, very handy, okay? Let me think. I'm going to tell you a little story about today's class, and this is just for you as consultants. Sometimes you come to a party and you say, ooh, I forgot this, or I didn't bring this. This is my makeup bag, well, that big black and white bag, and this is all of my makeup, because when Nancy and I talked, she emailed me about doing the class. I just assumed she said, well, we'll provide all the makeup. I'm like, okay, didn't talk again about it. And then I'm sitting here in Donna's class going, you know, did she remember to bring makeup from home office for the class? And she says, she looks at me, and we're both like, oh no, but see, I brought all my makeup. So I have all my makeup here, and I have brushes, and they ran, I got applicators, and I have sponges. So those of you who would like to do your makeup while you're in class, raise your hand, and I should have enough, and you guys can do some things. I have a few mirrors that I borrowed from the hotel, and I have a few that are in my bag. I normally carry mirrors with me. I usually get one that's magnified on one side and normal on the other. You can get them at Walmart. They're about $4. They're worth it because they're a little bit more sturdy than a really cheap one from the dollar store. So I'm not even going to suggest that, because the worst thing is to have one break. And they will prop up and they'll flip over, and I just buy a little bit at a time. Don't go out and buy 10 mirrors, because you're not going to do that many makeup parties in the beginning. Buy 2 here and 2 there till you have 5 or 6, because you're always going to have the lady who says, well, I'll just do my hands, and maybe I'll just wash my face, but I don't want to do makeup. Makeup parties tend to be kind of long, and so what I did on this handout, if you read it, it says, I broke them into 3 different kinds of parties. Your first party is a facial party, where you're mainly going to wash faces. You'll do the hand treatment when they come in. You'll wash faces, and you're going to do a set makeup. You're going to go to the book, and you're going to say, we'll do a daytime bliss, or we'll do a warm neutral eye. And you pick up the eyeshadows that you need for that, whether you have them or you have samples. And I have samples, and I have full-size products. And so this is where I keep my samples. And I have samples of all the lip gloss that we don't have anymore, and the new ones that we do have. And I have the powders, and I have the blushes and the eyeshadows in here. I hardly ever use this. A lot of times I give these away to my new consultants. But I bought full-size products. This is the tower. I have more than one tower. If you know you live in a community where you have women that are black or African American, and you know that you're going to have darker skin tones, I would suggest you buy the colors that go all the way to 6, because you're going to need them. All right, I live in Minnesota, where normally the only brown person in the room is me. So normally I pull out of my bag a 3 warm, a 3.5, and very rarely a 4. Because usually the 4 is someone who's been tanning for a very long time, and we have to talk about skin cancer by the end of the night. But normally those are the colors that will match. Very seldom I will have a 2 or a 1. I have one woman who's a 1, because that's very, very fair. When you do a beginner party, you're going to do the hand treatment. You're going to do a facial, which means you're going to basically wash their faces. You're going to go through the whole facial system. And now we have those cards, and we have the flip chart. It's very simple. And you're going to go through the flip chart with them, and you're going to wash their faces. The one thing I'm going to say, when you go around the room when you do their faces, I usually have a pitcher of warm water, and I take my washcloths and I put them on a platter or a big plate that the hostess has. And I put water on them. I squeeze them out and roll them up. I put them in the microwave. And then we set them for a few minutes so they get nice and hot. And then we go ahead and we wash faces. And what we'll do, I'm just going to tell you mechanically what we do. So you go around the room and you have them, they'll hold their hand out. You've washed their hands so their hands are clean. That's why the hand treatment is kind of important, because you want clean hands touching their face. Because you want to cut down as many risks of somebody breaking out because of their own dirty hands. Okay, so their hands are clean. You go around the circle at the table. You're hoping that the... Go ahead.
You putting the lotion bar and the shea butter on?
No. We're doing lotion. We're washing the hands, and we're doing our lotion on their hands. Just some lotion. Because if their hands are dry, if this person has my daughter has very dry skin. I can tell when she reads a book at night, because she'll go like this, and she'll have little dry bumps on her face in the shape of her hand on her face. So if you have very dry skin and your hands are very dry, every time you touch your face, the pH of your hand is different than your face. Your hands are usually dry. When you touch your face, you're pulling moisture from your face with your hand, okay? Every time you touch your face, whatever you've been touching all day, you're putting on your face. That's bacteria, that's germs, and it's just pulling all the moisture out of your face. So even when you do your own makeup, touching is not a good idea. Wash your hands before you touch your face, just like you would your own kids or a baby, because this is your face, you know, and you're touching. And the other thing I'm going to tell you, just as a personal note, when you do your own makeup, some of you have those really big magnifying mirrors, really good. I'm blind, I get that. You need that to do your eyes in the pluckety pluck, because I do that too. Clean it up, you know, I got to get close, and I'm getting blinder. But the other thing is, don't do all your makeup with the magnifying side of the mirror. The reason why is, and I just realized it's because we kind of obsess over stuff that no one's going to see. No one's going to be as close to you to see that on your face other than your husband or the man that you kiss or your children, and they don't care, okay? Number one. Number two, no one's going to see that, and you tend to obsess on it, and you'll either put too much makeup on or pick at something you shouldn't pick at right before you have to go out. That's why you're putting makeup on. You know what I'm saying? Angie's going, because I've done this. You obsess. You see it, you think, oh, and you start messing with something that no one's going to get that close to you to see. So when you do your makeup in a room. I do my makeup in my car a lot because that's the best sunlight, and usually that's how people are going to see me, is in the daylight. So I use my car mirror and I put my makeup on. But I have to use magnifying because I can't see without my readers to get close to my eye because I'm farsighted. But other than that, I flip it over now. I learned that the hard way. And this is always when I have to go someplace nice and I'll start picking at something on my face. Don't do it. Okay, so when you deal with women and you're doing that, so you have their hands washed and they're doing their faces, they go around the table and you put a little squish of the gentle cleanser in their hand, and then you either do gentle exfoliant or you do the spa polish. But you first ask, like I asked you, who has dry skin? The people who have dry skin will get the spa polish because their skin is dry and they need to clean it up. Excuse me, the people who have sensitive skin will use the gentle exfoliant, okay? And everybody in between will do gentle exfoliant. After you do that and they wash their faces, then you're gonna take those washcloths out of the microwave, they're nice and hot, remind them that they're warm, and have them wash their face. I have little plastic bowls that I bring to my parties. I can put water in there so they can actually rinse out their washcloth and finish washing their faces and put it in the bowl and be done with it. After they wash their face, I go around the room and I spray the toner, okay? And I tell them this, and I'm just gonna tell you what I tell my ladies. Close your eyes like you're sleeping. Not like I'm gonna slap you, because people do this. And I said, no. We need to get it all over your face. I don't wanna get it just, I'm not gonna hit you, I'm just gonna spray. And this is the thing I didn't get. With the toner, spray like this. Shh, shh. Don't, because it just freaks people out. So it's spray, because then it's a gentle mist. We don't want to like hose their face. We just want to give them, I remember I didn't tell a lady once, and I did a party with her, and she hosed this woman in the face, and I said, let me help you with that. And so it's just a gentle thing, and then they're less afraid. So then you have the toner on their face, and then we go from there with either the daily moisturizer or the deep daily if they have dry skin, okay? And so now, let me see, what else do I want to tell you? Any questions so far? Go ahead. Okay. If you want to do the facial party, you can do the clay mask if you'd like, and you can do the cucumber eye pillows. Well, now we have the little Jason mask, which is so cool. I want one. I want to do that twice a day, every day. And let me tell my kids, when I have the Jason mask, don't talk to me. When you go to do your makeup, everyone gets a little plate. I usually use little white plates. You can get them at the dollar store for weddings, and they're clear. And some of them are even appetizer plates with a little thumb hold, like a palette. And then you can just kind of sprinkle your preset eye makeup that you're going to take out for them to use that day on the plate, just a tiny bit. Because if you let them get a hold of your makeup, they're going to dump too much, and you're going to lose a lot of it. So you sprinkle a little bit on there, what they're going to need for their eyes. You put on here what they're going to, you put on here the mascara brush. You put the lip applicator on here, and you can give them 2 eyeshadow applicators. And a little brush, the comb brush that we have. And you put it on the plate. So everyone has a little place setting. So that when you get started, they have their stuff right here. And then you're going to squirt the tinted moisturizer on the plate. So everything is going to be on the plate, and they'll know what to do. And the reason why you do that is because when you have a party, especially if you're a party for school teachers. Anyone here a school teacher? Okay. You teach school? Okay. You are some of the worst people to do a makeup party with. You are wonderful people and you do a wonderful job, but you do not like to follow instructions. Every time. I can tell a school teacher. Exactly. And a school teacher will come to your party. I did a party with a bunch of teachers. Before I could even say hello, they were digging through my makeup like this. I'm not kidding. She had half her face done while everyone else was still just sitting there waiting for me to finish talking. And I said, you teach school? And she goes, I teach math. I said, sit down now. Because it's your makeup, this is your business. It is a business, and you're here to help these people, but sometimes if she's digging through your makeup, you can't keep track of what's going on there, and you can't be distracted. You have to pay attention. And usually you want to keep your makeup class down at the most 12 women, because otherwise it's a zoo. If you get over 12 women, ask for help. I did 25 high school girls. It almost killed me. It almost killed me. The only thing that helped me what saved me was half of them were at a game and came halfway through the party, so I started all over again with another half of these girls. But yet I still lost some makeup, actually, unfortunately. With young girls, sometimes I'll lose makeup. So that's why what I learned from this is that in your beginner party, you're going to set out an eyeshadow. You're going to have a couple blushes out on the table. You'll have the eyeshadows that you put on their plate, on your table. You'll have your applicators and everything on the plates for them to use. Your eyeshadows will be there in the middle of the table as a display. You'll have your blushes. You'll have your tinted moisturizers that you think you might need. If you want to put them all out so they can see them, that's fine. Okay? The other thing I like to use is I like to give people sponges because I don't know how people put their makeup on. These are wonderful things to use for the tinted moisturizer because it keeps them from using their fingers on their face. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
Why do you do the regular moisturizer first and the moisturizer?
Because oftentimes by the time your skin dries and we get done doing everything, it's going to soak all that in and you're going to lay the makeup on there and that's all going to soak in anyway, especially if it's particularly dry weather. If it's humid and that person has oily skin, you might just say, skip the moisturizer and just do the tinted moisturizer for her. Like my face is a little bit oily. It's a little bit warm here. It's not as warm as it is in Minnesota. And so sometimes I skip the moisturizer and use tinted moisturizer. I have on 5 right now and I have it on because I look tired. So, because I'm not sleeping. These sponges are your friend, and they are a very useful tool. They have pointy ends, and they have a little triangular piece, and they're nice because they can use this to put their foundation on, and they put their tinted moisturizer on their face, and they do their thing, and if they mess up, this is a great place where they can clean it right back up, and I can show you how to do that. So your beginner party is just that. You'll do some lipstick, lip gloss, you'll have some lipstick out. The Popular Poppy fits most skin types. How do you do what?
The lipstick.
Use an applicator. Use the same.
Take it on your big.
Let them use it on the lipstick and then put it on their lips. They can usually get enough of that on there to do their lips. The mascara usually need 2 mascara brushes because sometimes they need more than 1. No double dipping. No double dipping. You do go through mascara fast. I usually buy some periodically, so I always have mascara. And now we're only going to go to black, which will be fine. I don't have to have brown anymore. Because usually brown is for blondes. And where I live, there's a lot of brown Nordic people. But when they allow them to do the black. Okay, so that's your basic beginner party. So you're going to do like a facial. And you're going to concentrate more on talking about keeping their faces clean. About not touching their face as much and keeping their hands clean. They're going to have skin concerns. They're going to say, well, I have this or I have, and then some people can say, well, I really want to do the makeup. And you say, well, then you and I should get together. We'll talk about booking a party for a more advanced makeup party. Okay, and I have that in there. The second makeup party I do is kind of a little bit more advanced. We'll fly through the facial stuff. We'll get everybody washed up, and we're going to go right to the makeup. And usually these are people who have definite concerns. She'll say, well, I have like these dark spots, or I have these big creases, or my lipstick goes up my lips. And you're going to talk a little bit about that when you do their lips, and you can use a primer. But the other thing is when you do the more advanced part, you can talk about other concerns. And you can give them more tips on how to do their makeup. Because then you have people who want to know, how do I deal with my hooded eyes? How do I deal with all these bags under my eyes? How do I deal with whatever it is they have a problem with? And there's a lot of them out there. And so what you're going to find is your university is a great resource for that also. But I also put some websites, some videos on YouTube in your notes. Goth's makeup artist does not use our makeup, but he has wonderful technique. He puts out 3 videos a week. I really admire him. But he has, and I listed the actual videos that I've watched I think would be really good. I actually subscribe to his channel and I watch it periodically. I just let it run in the background when I do hostess packets or whatever. And a lot of times I'm like, wow, that's such a great idea. And so you could have lots of fun tips that you can give them and lots of fun things you can do. And have fun. Enjoy them and tell them that they're beautiful because they are. Because a lot of women come and they feel really unattractive and they feel like there's nothing you can do to help me. And the truth is, what they really need to know is that they're already beautiful. Our makeup will enhance who you are, but you have to believe that you're beautiful because you are, because God made you, okay? That's the truth. And I tell women that at my parties. So that is how it is. When you do an advanced makeup party, you probably should have a little bit more of the makeup in your kit. Make sure that you have the powders, that you have the mineral veil. This is the mineral veil. You're going to have women that are going to wear probably more makeup because you're doing advanced parties. So this is what you're going to put in when you get done with everything else. That's what sets your makeup, okay? Some people, if their face is dry, use the mineral veil. Give them a little mist of the toner mist to kind of set it because it'll just dampen enough that it'll set your makeup. Especially if they know they're going out for the evening, need to refresh it a little bit. They may just need a little bit more mineral veil to take the shine off and they're good to go, okay? The thing about our minerals is they're made here in the U.S., so you have minerals that come from this country as opposed to other makeup other makeup products that come from other countries. They may use fillers. They also have vague backgrounds on where their minerals come from, which is dangerous. The other thing is, a lot of them will have what they call, they break them down to nanoparticles, which means they can pass through your skin into your bloodstream. And that's really dangerous. And if they have lead in them, then that's going into your bloodstream right away, directly through your face. So the reason why I love our makeup is because I know that I can go to bed at night and not feel guilty because we have good products. We have really good products. If someone has a problem with something, usually it's because they're applying the makeup wrong. And that's something that you can help them with. And a lot of times if I have someone who I know needs help, and I can tell she's struggling, and I said, you know what, I can come to your house. If it's someone, I said, I can do a one-on-one with you. And I have a lady that I do a one-on-one with at least twice a year, and we redo all her makeup every year. Because she needs that attention, and that's all good. It gives me a chance to pamper her and encourage her, and I do that. So when you do a more advanced party, you're going to bring other makeup. You're going to bring the mineral veil, you're going to bring the blush, you're going to bring the eyeshadow colors that you have. I just slowly built my kit to where I had every color that we have, including some of the ones that are retiring. And I play with the makeup. Don't be afraid to call your friend Nicole or Paula and say, I'm going to do your face. I even did my son-in-law's eye one time for a challenge when Nancy had us do 31 faces. I said, Warren, let me do your eye. I think he just married my daughter, so he was still pretty moldable, and he let me do his eye. He's bald, so it worked. He's gorgeous, black eyelashes and this really big eye, and he has gorgeous eyebrows. So I said, I'll just do, and I took a picture of it. You couldn't tell that it was a guy. And my daughter even threw her hair over his head. It was just hilarious. But he was a good sport. He let me do his eye. Practice, play with friends. If you have a young lady that you know who's in high school who could really use some help with her makeup, she's a great candidate to come over to your house and do her makeup. It's a way to encourage her. It's a way to help you with your skills, and it's a way to help her feel good about who she is and just have that time with her. Because I have a couple young ladies that come over and I do their makeup from time to time. My daughter will do their hair. We do that. So practice. And don't be afraid to practice on each other or on a friend. And say, I want to try this new eye. And be out there looking. Look on YouTube. There's lots of people who do makeup on YouTube. They do lots of different things. I got obsessed with eyebrows for a while. If you go on my Pinterest page, I had an eyebrow obsession for a while because I was just like, I wanted to understand how to do that. And there's different ways of doing your eyebrows. If you want to fill them in with powder, if you want to use a pencil, which direction to take, if you want to shave, if you want to pluck. So I was just, I want to learn that. I want to know because I was never a makeup girl in high school. I started wearing makeup when I was in college. And then I got my degree in theater, so I did a lot of theater makeup, and I didn't like the heavy makeup. I would like sometimes lie and just say I had it on, I didn't have it on. I would just do it over my face. So that is your more advanced makeup party. I'm not going to go real in depth with that because that gets really complicated for you. A lot of it you can find out. If you don't know how to do it, we'll talk about it. You can ask me questions as we go along. Julie, would you come up? And would you come up also, ma'am, Jacqueline? And we'll get started doing some makeup. Let's talk about brushes. A lot of you may not have, a lot of you may not have JE brushes. We have some of the best brushes I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of brushes, okay? This is the brush belt. I laid a brush down somewhere. Just have a seat.
What do you want?
This
I use for powder, these I use for mineral moisturizer, and then these are the blush, and then
let's use your blush brush, and let's use the one you use for tinted moisturizer. And we'll grab some lipstick. I think I have some mascara too. And this is Julie Snogren. She is an awesome consultant, and she's a friend, and I love her. And a couple years ago, we did a Achievers Council, and she came, and Nancy told us we had to come with no makeup on. And Julie struggled with that because she doesn't even let her husband see her without makeup. And I said, I've prayed with you, I love you, and you're beautiful, and it's not the makeup. And she's awesome, and we're going to do her makeup today. And she let Nancy put it in the catalog, your before and after.
I said, you know what, I do all these makeup parties, and I pamper and do that, and I said, this is a treat. You can buy those too.
Yep.
He asked me this time, I said, I want some papers.
I do. I might need your lip applicators because I may not have any applicators. Oh, nice. Thank you. Pressure. No pressure. No pressure. No pressure. Yes, ma'am.
When I do the tinted moisturizer, I put it on the kabuki brush
Uh-huh.
so they can experience the kabuki brush. And then I can clean that. It's okay if it's wet.
Yeah,
Because you were saying you did those little sponges.
I do because if you're doing a party and you have 10 women, You, you have to get, you have to get through, you have to get through the party, you have to get through the women. So a lot of times I have them use, oftentimes they use brushes. We have some flat comb brushes, and I bought these from another online, but they're a little bit rounder, so they're better for putting on the blush. And normally I give them some of these, and then Cindy has the lip applicators. So are there people who would like to put some makeup on today while we're talking? Okay. I need you to hold your hands up because I'm going to hand out. Okay. Yeah. You can just use this. Start with these. And then I have some more. Those are the little applicators if they want to. Huh? Well, no, let's use mine because, no, Nancy paid for these. So just use these up because I'm going to use these up. And then I'll give you sponges. Give them a couple of applicators, mascara, and the sponges. What? Say it again? Sure. No, I have to be careful. Yeah. A little talk about clothing. Mineral makeup does not come out of your clothes very well. Trust me, I know. This is like nylon mostly. These are fantastic smocks. I have 3 of them. I don't care if I get mineral makeup on this. This is supposed to look like it's working, okay? A lot of times when I do makeup parties, I wear these because I don't like getting my clothes dirty. Because one time I got some bronzer on something, and I had to throw that blouse away. I couldn't get it out. It was done. I got some on my dashboard. It's still on there, too. My daughter is doing makeup in the car with me, and she, yeah, we're going to use the sponges. Because I have, we are going to do serums today. When you do the advanced party and you do makeup, I suggest you do the serums. During the advanced party, do the serums. If you want to do them during your facial party, if they're really interested in the serums, if you have a lot of older women, do the serums, okay? If you're doing a facial party and you have mostly younger women who say, well, I only wash my face twice, I don't know. They don't want to deal with the serums. The thing about the serums is when you do older women's faces, they need that. They need that moisturizer because that's going to help when they say, well, I have these creases and these lines. A lot of times they're very dehydrated. The other thing I talk about here, if you look, is I talk about dehydration. What are you drinking? Are you drinking enough water every day? Are you drinking soda? Are you drinking coffee? If you're dehydrating your body and you're not giving your body water, if you're not getting adequate sleep, there's only so much I can do. You know, I mean, I won't say it that way, but I'll say, how much water are you drinking? How many hours a night are you sleeping? How much soda are you drinking? Do you lay in the sun? Do you lay in a tanning bed? And we talk about skin cancer. We talk about sunless tanner. And we talk about the fact that I do toe and tan parties where we do their feet and then they can try the sunless tanner on their legs. Because a lot of young girls in Minnesota, we have a high rate of skin cancer among young women because they go to the tanning booth. Because we have 5 months of winter, so they go to the tanning booth. They go to the, and they go to the tanning, thank you, Jen, no, she's from Minnesota. And sometimes they go to the tanning booth, you know, all winter long. I'd never heard shake and bake until then. It's interesting. So the issue is, you know, you need to talk about those things too. But a lot of times I will talk to them about whether they're taking care of their skin. But I do offer the serums at a beginner makeup party if you have them. If you're just starting out doing makeup parties, you may not have these. I would encourage you to get them just to use on your face. I don't have the CoQ10 eye cream because it's mine and I used it up. I need a new one. I use the CoQ10 eye cream on my eyes because I have allergies and I tend to rub my eyes at night, and I got till the skin was so swollen it was cracking. And even though that's warm, when you first put it on because it has lactic acid in it, it actually like stopped it right away. And I have a little spot here that my mom had and my daughter has, and I just use it on it. It fades, so it's fading. But I use that on my eyes. And I use the multi-peptide, which is this one. This is the age-defying serum. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, with the serums, do you have to put them on individually or can you mix them together?
I do them individually. I don't mix them together. You can, if you wanted to, I suppose you could. Does Nancy do that?
Not the eye cream, but
No, I do the eye separate, and the others with my moisturizer.
Oh yeah, you can do that. You can do that if you want to. I like to do them separate so I keep track of what I put on my face that day. Because I'm kind of weird and anal and I just want to know what I did. But I usually either use one or the other. Like I'll use the CoQ10 eye cream, and then I'll just use the daily moisturizer. Or I'll use the age-defying serum all over my face. In the summertime, I usually just use the age-defying because the CoQ10 eye cream is really heavy and my face starts to feel really oily and I sweat. So I'll just use the age-defying because it goes on a little bit lighter. And because I have really oily skin, I get warm, and then I just look kind of greasy. So a lot of times I won't use them all. I find that if for a while I tried them all at the same time, and I felt my face was getting a little too oily for me. And they all have, they suit different needs, and some are just not as urgent to me as others. So. I do, and I have the age define. I know, she's beautiful. Okay. So we're gonna have a little conversation. You guys are getting, those of you who are doing the makeup, I know. We're just talking. It's okay. Hi. I had a teacher who said, my parents gave me really good manners, so I won't talk if you're talking. I'll let you finish. And then you feel like, oh, I'm sorry. These sponges are your friend. Something else I want to tell you. Who here has acne? Anybody have acne? You have acne? Okay. Sometimes people have ice picking. Do you know what ice picking is? When you have deep acne scars, you'll have those deep pits. They call it ice picking. Okay. I had a lady the first year I taught the makeup class with Donna Kundi. She walked around greeting everybody, and she shook my hand, and she went, I want you to do my makeup. What class are you teaching? And I was like, ah! And she had some scars. Little trick, take your sponge, break it. This rough edge is the edge you do their makeup with. If you ever texture walls, you know that roller with all the little bumps on it? That's why, because this will cover those deeper pitted surfaces. And what you're going to do is you're going to use their tinted moisturizer, and you're going to use the powder. And you're going to put the tinted moisturizer in here, and then dip it in a little bit of the powder, and then you're going to stipple on every place that they have that pitting. And it'll make it look much smoother. It'll take out a lot of the deeper pits they have, and it'll make it look a lot smoother. But you break your sponge. Tinted moisturizer and powder. Those are for women who want heavier coverage. When you do your tinted moisturizer, there's some women who they come in and they have a lot of makeup on, and they like that. That makes them feel good. That's what they want. So they're going to want to use tinted moisturizer and the powder. So we have these two lovely models, Jacqueline, and we have Julie. And each of them has a different skin tone. Julie has freckles, and Julie has some issues. She has little bags under here she wants to deal with. And so we're going to do some things different with her makeup. And if you have questions, please yell out, because I talk really fast, and you can tell me to slow down, because I know that's an issue. And so, who has sponges? Does anyone have a sponge? Did you give anybody a sponge? They have sponges? Who has sponges? You have sponges? So you need to match your makeup. We're going to talk about color matching. Who else has sponges? None of you have sponges? So now you just going to have attitude, you're not going to even try to do any of the makeup.
No, I want to be attentive.
I know, but I want you to try this then.
I want you to.
Okay, so I'm looking at your faces. I want you to stand up. This is a 3. This is a 3 light medium. That's what you use. Stand up. No, we need to do this. This is important because what you need to understand is really cool about our makeup is you can be a lot of different colors and the makeup will work. Okay. This is 2. 2 is very light. 2 is almost a little yellow. If you look at the base, it's a little yellow. Sometimes there are women that are very yellow, okay?
I do.
Yes. Okay, because when you color match, so this is 3. This is a 3 light medium, but this is more pink. Okay, and that's what you have to pay attention to. When you look at their face, and see her face is very pink. Her face is a little in between, but she probably can use this one also because she's got a little bit more of the red. You look down the neck area here where she's standing, and you can see here where it's gotten a little bit more pinker. She's a little bit more tan here. You don't want to go too light because it won't match. You'll have this hovering face on a brown neck. And people look at you in the Walmart like, hi, I didn't recognize you. When you color match, so you're going to put a squirt in their plate, just one little squirt, and then you're going to have them take their sponge. Can you take your jacket and pull up your sleeve? The inside of your arm. The inside of my arm is not the same color as my face, but you know what? It's close enough to my skin that if I take some of this tinted moisturizer and I wipe it on my arm, if it looks pink, if it looks yellow, if you can see it, it's the wrong color.
You want it to disappear.
Right. So this is the 3 light medium. Hold your arm up. You can't even see it. That's her color. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, now what you were saying about the inside of the arm,
Mm-hmm.
and I did that with the lady. When I looked at her face did look a lot darker than her arm, but I wasn't sure if she just had on dark makeup.
Oh, she didn't wash her face?
Right.
Okay.
So we bought the makeup that matched perfect with her arm. You could not see it. But she said when she got home and put it on, it was too light.
It was too light?
That's what she said.
Okay.
Maybe she felt it was too light. Maybe it's her lighting.
It's a 3. So it's a 3 light medium. This is your plate. I have,
Yes, ma'am, I'm good.
you're fixed. You're good. I don't have a sponge for you.
Oh,
Another thing.
Can you grab me another sponge? I'm going to give her a sponge. Or I'm going to place her sponge.
is that 3?
This is 3 light medium. But looking at your neck and things, I think that's going to work. Okay? Does that make sense? So all 3 of these ladies are a 3 light medium. Okay? They're all a 3. And that's the thing that you need to pay attention to. The thing about minerals is they're very forgiving. They're very forgiving. You know, when you, she needs another sponge because I don't think she was doing the makeup, but I wanted to use her as an example. So when you do the minerals, they're very forgiving. Her problem is very different. Was she black or was she white? Okay. I'll tell you a story about the mineral makeup. When we came out with the darker colors, I was wearing a 4. And I tried the 4, and it looked okay on my arm, but it didn't look right on my face. Okay? That's why we're a 5. Because when you look at the 4, yeah. Right. This is a 5 warm. Okay, this is what I wear, a 5 warm. This is a 4 medium. But a 4 medium looks really yellow and pale on me. I did my makeup the same day that we did yours, and I used a 4. I look terrible. But once I used the 5 or 5 warm, I was mixing my 4 with a 5. So when they came up with 5 warm, it was perfect. This is what I have on right now. I have on a 5 warm.
Can you tell us, like you said, 2 has a little yellow, 3 light medium is if you're pink. What's the 3 warm? Like, how would you say the difference?
3 warm depends on your skin tone. If you have a woman who's older, who's been tanning a lot, and she's kind of got those freckles that have kind of molded together, or she's just more tan all over. Kathy Miranda is tanner all over. Okay, she might be a 3 warm, because if you tan, I have ladies who go to Florida half the year and they get much darker. A lot of times they buy 2 different colors because they know they're going to be darker. And so we have to be thinking about that. So they'll buy the next shade up.
3.5 is usually what I use.
Okay,
In the winter, it could get a little bit dark for me.
right. But that's a perfect example because you look at Kathy now, but she was a 3.5 when she tans. It makes a big difference. If they're darker or more olive complected, they may wear a 3 warm, they may wear a 3.5. I have a lot of women who usually, if they're pretty tan, they wear a 3.5. That's what I have, a lot of women. A 4 is usually someone who really, we need to have a conversation by the end of the night. Well, it's because they're usually pretty dark. And if you have blonde hair and blue eyes and you're that dark, I'm very concerned about what you're doing to your skin. And I'm very honest with them. You know, but important to know. So our minerals are very forgiving because they're kind of very much a kaleidoscope. When you do people that are browner, Julie, what color are you?
I am the warm, not the 3.5, what is
The
it?
3 warm?
3 warm, yeah. I'm the tricky one, because to look at me, you would want to put like a lighter color on me, but I have a lot of olive undertone.
Yeah.
And if you put that light on me, I look sick. So the 3.5 turned orange on me, and the new warm, it's a better color.
So the 3.5 has yellow and your olive. Okay, you need the color.
No, honestly, what she's telling you is that everybody's skin is different, and the textures and the tones of it, there is no a certain thing that you can just say, here, this is what you need. You know, try on the arm, test on this. You should never be able to tell from the neck to the jawbone. The biggest thing that I learned is and I was just trying to explain this to you, is that we can see everybody. You can tell the pink tones, which is what Carol was saying, you would go more
Inside your arm?
to the
Inside.
3.5s or, you know, the lighter colors.
6.
If you pick up
But I want to do this on
olive,
purpose.
freckles, that's a good sign. You know, you want to go with the warmer colors.
Right.
Because those are more beige and.
That's why I want them to see that, because we're just
olive
talking about
tones
that.
to it. So, you know, sometime when you're sitting in a crowd of people, just kind of look around and test yourself on it, you know, and learn. But it's not something that comes easy. It
No.
needs practice.
Yep.
And study. Those videos that she's telling you are awesome, you know, to help you. But those are just little keys that you can watch for.
Yep. And he's very good. He's very kind, and he's very sweet, and he's not cruel about talking about older women. Okay, this is a 5 warm on her, and you can't really see, but it looks kind of pink and kind of orangey on her because she needs the 6. You can't, when I put it on her arm, can you see that streak? Because it looks kind of pink and orangey on her. When I wear the 4 warm, I look like I'm dead. I look really yellow and kind of ashy. It's just so wrong. So I took my picture with it, and I look disgusting.
What about if something with a 6 and the 5 warm?
I don't think she needs the 5 warm. I think she just needs the 6. Have you just used the 6 before?
Just use the 6.
Do I have a 6 with me? I hope I do. Let me see if you have a 6, because I'm not seeing my 6 anymore. This cord is going to kill me because I've almost stepped on it like 3 different times. Thank you. Yep. Can you please do that? Yeah. You need a 3? I got a 3 right here. This is a 3. This is a 2. Hold on. This is a 3 light medium, but I have another one. Let me give you the one that's.
Okay, do you want us to? No.
You go ahead and put yours on. Well, wait a minute. Wait. Before we do that, I want to do the serums. Yeah. Hold on. I need to look for the.
Okay,
I can't find your 6 in here.
you can't find this thing?
No, I don't see your 6 in. Let me see if I have a 6 in here. I'm going to do the serums, and I'm going to do them with my brush, my
Go ahead and do
contour
the
brush.
serums and I'll find this thing.
Okay. What color do you need, babe?
I 3, the 3 warm. Because
Go
the
ahead and
3.5,
do,
I
go
like
ahead and
orange.
do your thing, because
Okay.
we're gonna run.
We're going to run long, and I want to get out of here. I don't want to keep them too long. Okay, perfect. I'll do the 6 for her.
You know, this
Did I
should
not
be
give
a
you a
2-hour
three?
class.
I know.
Yeah, I just wait for you to do the serum.
Okay.
Yep, we're cool.
We're cool? All right. My brush. Okay. So Julie's going to do her face, but before I do her face, when you have someone that you're dealing with the bags under the eyes, there's 2 things you need to think about. So first of all, the bags under the eyes, you need to moisturize. You may need to moisturize more than once, because that crease that she has under her eye, that's a lot of really dehydrated skin, and that's a deep crease. Yes, ma'am.
Moisturizer more than once during the facial, or
Before you do her makeup.
during the party?
Yep, during the party, because she's got. Now you're using the peptide. Okay.
I use the toner. And especially, mine is, my hydration is a lot of medicated induced. So there is a difference between medicated induced and just regular. Oh, yeah.
You get a lot more and over there.
Yep. That puppy goes all over. Yeah, it goes from here up. Oh, that feels so good.
This is the multi-peptide serum with the brush, because I can really get. This is the contour brush. This is like your new best friend.
That's what I put my makeup on.
I'm putting the multi-peptide serum on her eyes with the brush. This is the contour brush because it fits your face.
Now, you say touch your hands to your face as little as possible, but you're putting that.
My hand is clean, and because I'm in a hurry. But normally I don't. No, I gotcha. No, normally, okay, there's 2 things that I do. I do Jordan Essentials, yes I do, but I also work on movies from time to time, and so sometimes when I'm in a hurry and I'm doing a bunch of actors, I gotta get on it. Right, my hands are usually clean. Usually they're really, really dry because I keep them so clean. If I'm doing like 20 people in one day. Last summer I spent 6 weeks working on a movie, and so I was doing like 20 people's makeup every day, sometimes 3 times a day. So you're like, and I use all Jordan Essentials on them. I'm gonna have you do your face. This is the age-defying serum. Do you want a sponge?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on, let me give you a clean one because that one's not clean.
Yeah, all my serums, I start from here.
Go ahead and put it all over your face. You need a mirror?
Okay.
I have a mirror right here.
No, it's, when you put your serums on, then to this. You've washed it, you've toned it, you've peptided it, beautify it, let that sink in, and then you do your eye cream, because I am super, super dry. If you are not,
Yes.
don't go all the way up to the eye, just use your eye cream. Okay?
No.
But I am
Go like this, me. Okay, you know, we talk about the lipstick going up the lips. You know, the little old lady thing where my lipstick is bleeding up my lips. So you take the multi-peptide and you go around the lips. Your mouth is a sphincter, like another part of your body. The problem with this skin is it gets old. And a lot of times if we're not talking as much and it gets wrinkly and the lipstick starts to go up. So I use a multi-peptide around her mouth. You're going to use a lip primer on her lips, so it's going to keep the lipstick where it needs to be, and you won't have that running up towards her nose. Okay? On the kabuki works really, really well. It does. I will be honest with you when I put mine on, because I think it feels too heavy to me. A lot of times I'll just put the tinted moisturizer on my hands after I wash my hands, and I'll just touch my face. That's how I put mine on. I just touch my eyes and I touch my face, and I put it on. I don't need that much. And I'll go over with my brush a lot of times just to make sure I even it out, but it usually is pretty even. And mainly it's because I was just tired today and I really just wanted to get in here. I can't just use my brush and go around the eye, but then sometimes I find for myself I overwork because I just get anal and I just have to stop. Just touch it and stop. Yes. If you're using your brushes just for yourself, you won't have to wash them every day because they're your brushes. I would suggest you wash them once a week. We sell a brush cleaner that you can use. I've also washed my brushes with the facial cleanser that you use to wash your face with, the gentle cleanser, and I use a drop of tea tree oil in there.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Is that really sensual?
Mm-hmm. But the biggest thing is you want to make sure you get it washed, and then you want to make sure you get them really, you know, I squeeze them with a paper towel and I shake them a lot. And then I have a little cheap vase that I got from Walmart, and I put some little crushed shell filler in and I stick my brushes like this, and they stand there and they dry. And usually the next morning they're dry and they're lovely.
At a party, then you only do for the hostess, so you have one set of things.
Yes. I only do for the hostess, and then normally what I do, normally what I do is then for everyone else, I'll give them the brushes that we normally use for a party. And that's what I use. Because then the hostess is oohing and eyeing while everyone else is using the other brushes. And I go, I want to feel your brush. I want to. And I've had women say, well, my brush is really soft. And they'll pull their brush out and go, it's not as soft as yours. We have really nice brushes. And people will say, well, mine's a natural hair brush. My husband being an artist, he's talked to me about that. And we've talked about it. He says a lot of times with natural hair, animal hair brushes, I'm going to let you use this. I'm just going to give it to you this way so you can use what you need. Okay? With the natural hair brushes, you're going to get more hairs falling out. And because ours is synthetic, they hold up better to washing. Okay, and they are softer and they're easier to sanitize because they're not as affected by the tea tree oil or the cleansers that we use. When you use natural hair brushes, you're more likely to get hairs that fall out. They will get brittle. They'll break off. The synthetic hairs are much softer, longer. Okay? She's a 6. You're so determined to make her use that 5. We can try the 5 more. It's a little bit of age defying. It's going to hit her. Yes, dear. You're welcome, love.
Like I said, she told me it looks orange and she doesn't like it.
This is age defying, and I'm using it right where I see the fine lines on her face. I'm just painting a little bit on right now, and I'm letting that dry as we're talking and soaking in. So we take care of some of those fine. And Julie's falling asleep while I'm doing this. But it's really helpful because when you have someone who says, well, I'm getting all these creases and my makeup is sitting in there, that's a problem. And it's because her skin is dehydrated. It's because the skin is wrinkled and you want to plump that back up before you put the makeup on. Otherwise, the makeup sucks into that crease. And then she goes, now it's worse. Because it is. Because now the makeup is sitting in the crease, accentuating that spot because it needed moisture before you did that.
Would you put on her for me, Carol?
That is, she's got the age defying. I just use my contour brush.
So do you recommend putting the serums on in the morning instead of at night, or just
Both. I do them both. I do them twice a day. That's okay.
Yourself, do you use a brush or do you use your fingers?
For the serums, I just use my hands because it's just the serum. I'll use my hands. In the morning when I wash my hands first thing, and then I'll do my face. And I just finish washing my face with my hands, and I'll just put that on. Now, how do you like how that looks? Are you good with it? I want you to face everybody. And I want you to hear what Jacqueline is saying. 'Cause we're talking. I'm asking her how she likes how she likes tinted moisturizer. And
I really like the tinted moisturizer, but if you look at me, you got a little orange tint. It seems like an orange tint to me.
I see it around your mouth.
Yeah. I wear the 6, and I have been wearing it the whole time. But that's one of my problems. I wonder, how do I get this orange tint?
I think we should try a little bit of the 5. The reason why I say that about the 5 is because the 5 is more pink, and I have more pink undertones, which is why I can't wear the 4. Even though the 4 may look like it matches better, it does not match better in the long run because I can't. When it dries, I have. Look at my face. Look up at me. You look like you're scared.
Doesn't that feel good?
Oh, no, I'm not scared. I'm just, that was one of my problems.
Yeah. There's something else I want to do while I'm here. I'm going to mess with y'all. Julie, you use both the yellow and the blue, don't you? I want you to use this, and I want you to tell them what you're doing with that. Actually, you want the blue first? You can still order it. It's not in the catalog, but you can still order it. If you do a search, it shows up. Yes. I don't know whether it missed me. While supplies last, I have still letting people order it. What don't you see? What is it? You don't see a difference?
No, I don't.
I don't think it's lighter.
I don't think there's no difference.
Excuse me, ladies, I hate to bother, but did somebody lose a purse? What's in it?
Huh? Okay, do you want my contour brush?
Are you going to use it on her?
I think Cindy has another one I can use. What are you doing? Okay.
I am so wrong because I got the yellow because I was trying to lighten this part up. This is why I bought the yellow one. So you're going to use the darker one on me?
No, we're not going to use the blue. You can use the yellow, but because you're darker, I wouldn't do that. I'd almost take a 4 and do a 4.
Two clients with this problem.
With the same problem I have. I didn't mean to make it so.
No, it's okay. I know.
We're back with you, Karen.
Okay, so Jackie was talking about, she goes, I've been having a hard time because she's been using the yellow concealer for under her eyes because it's very dark. I get the same thing right in here, which is why I use the tinted moisturizer. And if it's not too bad, I can usually hide it with that. But if it is bad, I'll use the yellow. But because she's darker, if you use the yellow, it's going to make her look very ashen under the eyes. So take the next shade up. Do the 4, okay? And I'm going to tell you something about how do you put on concealer? Who wears concealer in this room? Okay, how do you put it on, Nicole?
I usually use my finger, but I
But how do you put it on? Okay, and you dab it along the, okay, don't do that.
what are you supposed to do?
Okay, I'm going to show you. No, it's okay. But here's the thing about doing concealer. When you just put it, around the edge where you have the issue, all you're doing is highlighting the issue. Because concealer is lighter. Lighter is going to reflect light. You don't want to do that. You want to bring it down, go along your cheekbone, and go along where you have the issue, and you're going to kind of swish it back and forth. And then, right. And then when you put your tinted moisturizer, you're going to like work it with your brush, and you're going to even it all out, and it's going to just look like part of your face. It's not going to be this whole dark thing. Yes, ma'am. You're lovely.
I'm checking, she's a teacher.
Because a lot of times, I used to do it that way and say, I still look tired. And so a lot of it is I learned that I have to go down And then if you feel like it's really, really dark, you can use the yellow. You can, but it depends on how much foundation you really want to wear, how even you really want to try to make it. Because I don't like really heavy makeup, and I don't think you do either, and I don't think you need to do that. I think I would almost work more on exfoliation, and then using the CoQ10 eye cream to even out the complexion. It would. The CoQ10. And then with your eyebrows, you use a pencil.
Oh, it's time to leave.
Yeah, is it? If you guys need to leave, thank you for coming. I'm sorry that you have to go. It's all right. Do you have any other questions? Because I'm going to finish doing their makeup one way or the other. The biggest thing about doing the makeup is do watch videos, do keep up with what's going on. And if you have a question you're not sure, you can private message me on Facebook, but you can usually find what you need to find out on the JE University. But there's a lot of really good tips out there. Goss Makeup Artist is very good when he's talking about his brushing technique. It's in your notes. And I even say which videos to watch. And he talks a lot about filling in your eyebrows. Take your pick of how you want to do that.
Can you tell us
Yes.
about, like, when you look at someone, a lot of people ask, what eye color should I have? I mean, like, I have this color eye, but what should I use? And I say some of it's preference and some of them don't look.
Okay.
How do you choose?
Okay, she's asking about how do you choose what type of eyeshadow to wear. And I know that we talk about if you have brown eyes, then they have you wearing, what is it, browns and other colors. And you know what I find? I said, well, what do you like to wear? What colors does she have on? Does she have a dominant color? Is she wearing a lot of blue? Is she wearing a lot of pinks and light pastels? Then let her wear that on her eyes because it's going to match what she has on. If they have on glasses, go bolder with your eyeshadow because you got to see past the glasses. Peggy, you wear glasses, but when your eyeshadow is very dramatic, it's gorgeous because you have gorgeous eyes. But you're not going to see it unless you work it so that they can see it past your glasses. You need more dramatic. It's all good. There's nothing wrong with you. Okay, so, you have to stand up then. Stand up.
Stand up. And face you, right?
No, face everybody else. Okay, so first of all, do you see what Julie's doing right here? She's got a big Kim Kardashian thing happening. She has a lot of yellow, she has a lot of highlighter on. Kim Kardashian has massive, massive highlight and massive, massive low light. I mean, it's like dark. It's like a cat's face. And then she blends that puppy. I mean, she needs a buffer, but you blend that and then you put on she puts on a heavy foundation. She's probably using MAC because that's how she's getting that polished look. Because if you look at her face, look, she's going like this all the time. Like this. But the thing is, she's got a lot of concealer on. She's got a lot of highlight on. That's why she's getting that really shiny glow. And what she's doing is she's using what they call like an underglow. She's using either a liquid, but you can use, we had that sparkly stuff, the powder that you could put on your body. You can't, well, no, it was something that we sold. It was a powder. And it has sparkles in it. I have some. And you can put that in your tinted moisturizer if you want to just work it if you want that. But you don't really need it because the minerals, depending on how hard you crush them, get less shiny or more shiny if you don't crush them as finely. Yeah, you can use the white sand because the white sand has that sparkly. And you can add that to your tinted moisturizer if you want that. And then that'll give you that really dewy, glowy look if you're looking for that, to do that. We don't normally need that. Because normally we just kind of glow because we already have a lot of the pink undertones, and then when we get warm, we get a little bit more shiny anyhow, so we need to accentuate that. And we don't usually tend to go for that look, right? Because we tend to do more around our eyes and to bring out more of the cheekbones. We already have the prominent cheekbones, and do lips. Okay, so she said, you're gonna tell me what's wrong with my face. There's nothing wrong with her face, she's beautiful. But sometimes people have issues, like she probably doesn't like her chin. And you probably have.
Well, she doesn't know.
Well, no, I'm saying sometimes people say, well, I don't know, I want to do this. So she might want to say, well, I want to have the little face. So that has to do with highlighting. So you want to accentuate the positive, which is your cheekbones, but you're going to take this down a little bit. And you have to be less afraid of taking it down because you got to remember that your brush is going to be the thing that's going to blend everything for you and make it better.
Take it down. So blush lower?
No, what you're going to do is you're going to use a low light here, a darker color to take this in. Dark is going to pull it in. And so what I guarantee you she's doing is she's more afraid of getting too dark, and so she won't do it. Even if you just play with it when you're home by yourself and do a little bit darker. And think in terms of shapes, like triangles and circles. So you're looking at the angle that you want to have happen on your face. So you're talking about the point of the triangle coming here and getting wider as you come back. Because what she's looking to do is to pull in her cheeks this way and then come back and just have it kind of disappear. Because you're going to blend a little bit harder back here, but it's going to raise out her cheekbones. So then you're going to make sure you bring a highlight that's going to come along where the light hits your face right here. So when people look at you, they're going to see the light hit your face here. It's going to bring this back in. And then you're going to do a highlight along the jawbone to make this more prominent in this way right here, so that you're going to be able to see that. So I'm going to... Yes?
What's the eyelash curler tip we don't know what should?
Okay, that is a video, but I can show it to you.
Where you put the liner on?
Yes.
I tried it and it didn't work.
I did it all the time, and it works great. You put it on the rubber part. Okay, eyelash curler. Do any of you use an eyelash curler? Okay. Yeah. This is my makeup bag, so this is like my makeup. But so you have an eyelash curler. I don't like a lot of eyeliner. Sometimes I just want a little bit because I'm just tired and I want to make it looks like my eyes are more open than they really are. I put the eyeliner on the actual rubber part right here. So when you get it close to your eye and you clip it, you get it right in the waterline, right in here. And you get that nice, fine, sharp, dark line. You put the eyeliner in here, on the bottom. So when you curl the eyelash, you get as close, without pinching your eyelid, you get close, and you'll get that right in the waterline of your eyelid, you'll get the dark line. And it'll be totally clean and totally neat.
So do you use the mineral eyeshadow, and do you put that on there?
No, I use just the eye pencil. With the mineral eyeshadow, I use teal, I use Caribbean blue, and I use the fern green. You wet the tip of the brush and you work that baby. You can do it. You can do if you want to do cat's eyes, but it's really nice if you're darker to use the teal. We'll do that tonight. We'll do it now. We'll just be late. I don't care. But you work that into and it's a really gorgeous color. And wet, the minerals are darker than they are when they're dry.
Wait a minute. So that's just for the eyeshadow. You wet the eyeshadow.
You can wet the eyeshadow. No, you can wet the eyeshadow. You can do all your eyeshadow wet if you want. It'll change the color, but you can dampen it and use it. Okay, let's finish your makeup. Are you ready for your tinted moisturizer now? Okay, let's get you going. This is a 3-in-1. You use. Okay, I will. Okay.
Concealer. I used a different concealer.
You're so sweet. I love you. I know you love me because you do stuff for me.
I'm just truthful. Right?
I know. Well, you know what? Because sometimes it's a lipstick color or something. Did I answer your questions? I don't think there's anything wrong with your face, but I'm saying, but if you want to do that, that's how you're going to pull that back. But don't be afraid to try it at home. When you're at home and do the darker, and use a darker foundation if you want, because then that's going to be a thinner move, and then you can actually just use the brush to blend it. Yes, ma'am?
Someone who doesn't ever seem to be able to keep eyeliner on, my mom, she seems like it melts on her all the time.
Use the primer.
Okay, or would she get the same effect if she did what you just suggested, put the eye pencil on the eyelash color and try that?
Yeah. Because it could just be she's really warm, because sometimes my face slides if I'm too warm.
What do you do for open pores?
Open pores. They need to wash, you need to exfoliate, and then you need to do a little stippling. Instead of brushing, or instead of using the sponge this way, just stipple this way. Yeah. That's for ice picking. If they have deep acne scarring, but just bigger pores. Okay. Right. That's typical of black people. Okay. Asians and blacks have we have a pore pattern. Everyone does. Our pores tend to be bigger from the center, getting finer as they go out. Okay. So if you just take the sponge and you just do this with your tinted moisturizer, and that'll bring them down. That'll bring them down for you.
Okay, now she's going to show you how to
Blend this crazy stuff.
But Carol, is there another way to reduce your pores without mineral makeup?
Actually, keeping your face clean, using the toner, and then using the clay mask, because that will tighten your skin and tighten the pores. And that'll tighten. Yeah, if you use the clay mask, yep.
I use that twice a week.
I'm going to put her tinted moisturizer on, and I'm going to blend for her.
Did I put too much?
No, I'm going to get this. Yeah. I think that would be really hard to do. You could try it. You'd have to use some. You'd almost have to make your own tinted moisturizer by using the moisturizer, the everyday moisturizer, and mix a little bit with the powder on a plate or a palette. Cindy, show them your palette, your thingy, your mineral mate. Yeah.
And I'm not sure how she applied it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Those are called mineral mates. We sell them for $5 a piece on.
You can, like, if you're doing a party.
What color eyeshadow do you want to wear?
I'm wearing a pink dress.
You want a pink dress? Do you want to wear pink or do you want to wear a different color? Okay.
I'm wearing black and gold.
I'm wearing black and green.
Oh, yeah? Me a cat's eye.
Put them in the middle.
Charcoal on me.
Stop.
I'm serious.
Julie's pretty wild.
Yeah, I am.
Julie is pretty wild.
Something that I can do different, that I can do myself, but still look good.
See, the concealer I use is skin tone. Because I have so much red in me that sometimes I pull the yellow out.
Well, part of it too. And so what I'm doing here is I don't want to disturb what she's already done to contour her face with the concealer. So I'm going along the lines that she's made.
This is the brush I use.
I don't want to make it muddy, nor do I want to take away from what she's already done. But like you can see how much that's helped decrease some of the creases under her eyes from where she's had the bags. And part of that, she's been on steroids for a while, so she has pin cushioning. Because Julie's face is normally much thinner.
Yeah.
I've known her for a couple of years, so it's the medication she's been on that has made her face a lot. Yeah, and it causes steroid psychosis too, which is not a fun thing because it's a real emotional roller coaster.
Oh my gosh.
What color lipstick do you normally wear?
The red raisin.
Really, you use the Ravishing Raisin? Okay. Well, I just want to know what you wear.
Yeah, I usually wear the red.
You use an eyebrow pencil? You use black? Okay. Yes. I'm sorry. I homeschool, so I never let my kids say yeah. I always say yes. So I always correct people. I even think I'll be like, yes.
Eyebrow brush.
I am. I am.
It's long.
But I do behave. Because I had a really mean mother, and and she would like trick you. If you started to move, she'd look at you and like, okay. So I get real still. I'm like, okay, I won't touch anything. I'm looking for my pencils here.
Is that it? Yeah. And that's
And you have your eyebrow pencil with you, right? That you want to use. I'm gonna have to use mine. So what I want to do. Hi. How are you? I know the feeling.
I don't know what it was. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming. I hope that you learned something and it was helpful and that I didn't insult you.
I have a question about you.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Oh no. Okay.
I don't know what happened.
You better go.
Thank you, honey.
Thank you. I'm sorry. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Thank you for being my guinea pig. Mwah. I love you. Okay. You go do what you need to do. Be safe. That's okay. It's mine. What's mine is yours.
All right. See, great class, too.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
I love the peptide there.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. It does. Oh, I like it.
On her age, upper 40s-ish. She won't do more than 3 steps on her face. She just knows that if it gets too complicated, she just quits.
Okay.
She has age spots and oily skin. So she talked about the oily basic set, but then I suggested adding a serum for the age spots.
CoQ10 eye cream.
Which is when she told me she wouldn't do more than 3 steps. So would you recommend cleansing, the eye cream, and moisturizing, and skip the toner? Because I feel like a serum is more important than a toner. or not?
She only do 3 steps.
She just has said, I've tried it before and I'll do it for a week and then it's just like, well, it's too complicated and I just give up on the whole
I
darn
just
thing.
want to because it's too dark.
Okay. Do you want a brown? I have a brown pencil. So you're saying skip the toner and do what?
So I'm wondering if she should cleanse a serum and moisturize. Because would a serum
She
be
can
more
cleanse,
important
okay,
than
she
a
needs to
toner?
exfoliate though too. So I'd almost say she can cleanse and exfoliate in one step, because she can put the exfoliant in her hand with the foam cleanser. So that's 2 steps in one.
Okay, but the oily set has the bar. She told me she has oily skin.
Well, then she's going to use the brush anyway. So then, okay, I wouldn't worry about exfoliating. So then you're saying skip the toner and then just go with the serum?
Just because I'm trying to eliminate.
Yeah, okay, we'll try. I would try it. I would try to. I would just try it and see what
Would
happens.
you do the eye cream as an all over or would you only put that in
You can do it
spots?
all over. I use it all over my face, and I do it on my spots here too.
So would that one would be the best for an age spot?
Yeah.
Better than the multi-peptide?
Yeah, because that's meant to fade those. That's why I use the CoQ10. So yeah, I would do that.
Thank you.
For,
Like if I want to blend my eyeshadow
okay.
my toner, or not my toner, my
Okay.
moisturizer on there. How do you feel about that?
Thank you, Carol.
If my hand's clean.
You're welcome.